Alright, this is going to be quite a serious video. This is my upteenth time trying to make it. Different interruptions and shit have stopped me. So let's hope I get through this time, because I'm kind of tired of like repeating myself for the first 5 seconds of the video. Well, like 5 minutes, but anyway. So there is something that I have been suffering from for a really long time. Some kind of this anxiety-ish, disorder-ish thing that I don't usually talk about, and I don't talk about it for a number of reasons. Some of them are that I never knew what it was called until I decided to actually look into it last night. It's not something that I ever talk about. I don't really talk about it I haven't talked about it to doctors, to anybody, unless I'm actually doing something where I feel the need to bring it up. Otherwise, I don't mention it, because I always feel kind of stupid, like just saying it out loud, what it is and how I feel. It makes me feel really, I don't know, like pathetic, like I'm lying, or like I should just get over it. And it's quite embarrassing and also very life-changing. It's stopped me from doing a lot of things in my life, and um, again, without knowing what it's called, it's made me feel like I completely lack credibility, because obviously if you suffer from something, you should know what it's called, right? But I never did. I thought that maybe it was some kind of like a social anxiety or something, but then that's not really it, because I'm not scared of people. What it is I'm scared to do things by myself. Like, I can't leave the house by myself. I can't go to a store by myself. I can't, you know, if I'm in a restaurant or somewhere, I can't go to the bathroom by myself. Even at somebody's house, I can't do things by myself. I have to ask permission. Can I go to your bathroom? Can you walk me there? Can you wait outside the door for me? Just the thought of crossing a room, being seen, going outside by myself. I can't do these things. It makes me freak out. It makes me panic. My heart starts racing. I start feeling shaky and faint, like I'm going to have a panic attack. Um, it's been really, really, really hard on me, and I'm pretty sure I first noticed this probably after the divorce from my first husband, because when I was with my first husband, he went everywhere with me. He did everything with me. I wasn't allowed to go outside by myself or allowed to do anything by myself. And so from there, it kind of started, and over time it's just gotten worse and worse and worse, to where like I would almost rather sit in the chair and try to piss on myself rather than have to get up and cross the room and go to the toilet without somebody walking me. Um, you basically have to hold my hand and take me places. Now, the thing is that if I've been there before and I know the layout of the place, I know what it looks like inside. I've been there, like say in El Paso, Walmart or something, or here, Countdown, supermarket that I usually go to. Once I've been there quite a few times, I can go by myself. It's just, the first few, well, more than few times, the first quite a few times, I can't do it. I really need somebody there with me, and it makes me feel like a really big baby. And then if like, say I'm supposed to go to an appointment, or I'm supposed to do this, and then they're like, well, maybe you can take the bus, and I'm just like, no, I can't. The bus, just to stand there by myself on the street corner and wait for a bus and get on the bus and sit there by myself and try to find where to get off, and then walking from there to where I'm supposed to be, and then walking into that building by myself. No fucking way. No way at all. I can't do it. In the States, there's so many times that I've lost jobs because, like, I'll go to, like, the welfare office or something and apply for a job there because they did all the job stuff there, and then they'd send you to the location. And if it was a place I haven't been, I drive around the parking lot looking at the front door, like, fuck, I'm supposed to go in there, I'm supposed to go in there, driving around, driving around. What do I do? What do I do? Okay, you can do this. Just park the car, get out of the car, just walk in. I'm sure when you walk in, there'll be a desk, there'll be somebody to ask. Then what if there isn't? What if I walk in and I don't know what it looks like and I don't know where to go and I'm fumbling around? What if I'm late? What if everybody's already in there and then I walk in and everybody looks at me? I can't do that. I can't just park and then walk in. I don't know what it looks like in there. There's nobody here to go with me. I don't know anybody in there. I can't just like grab somebody from the outside and be like, can you please walk me in there? I have no idea what I'm doing or where I'm going, and it's just, I can't do it. I can't. And so I would just be so frustrated. I'd be like in tears, and then I would know that I couldn't do it, and I would just turn the car around and drive home and be kicking myself the whole time. I just passed up a job. I just passed up this opportunity. Why? Because I can't get out of the car and walk to this building by myself. I can't go into this building by myself. How fucking pathetic am I? Uh, and it's been like that, and it fucks with you. And I just keep thinking, I'm the only one that feels like this. Say I would go to a club. I went to a club here with some people when I first moved here. Well, when I first left my third husband. And I'm like, where's the bathroom? Can you walk me to the bathroom? And I feel so stupid because they're dancing and having fun, and didn't really know these girls too well. And I'm having to ask them to walk me to the toilet, unless I get drunk or something, and then I can go by myself. But, I mean, it's just fucking bullshit, I really can't explain how much it sucks to live life like that, to know that you can't do a single thing by yourself. And now with Logan working, if I need to go to a doctor, I need to go somewhere, I can't catch the bus by myself. I mean, I can drive myself because my car, I'm in my little cozy little shelter, but as far as getting out of the car and then doing stuff, I can't. Dorian goes with me everywhere, at least I have my son, because even if he's young, or even when he was younger, it was still enough just to have another human being next to me. But, if he's doing something or he's busy and I have nobody, I can't, or if I have friends that come to my house and it's like, I don't really want to go to their house because then I feel really uncomfortable, if I'm thirsty, I can't just go to the fridge. If I'm hungry, I can't eat, I can't just sit on their bed with my legs crossed or take off my shoes. What if I have to go to the toilet? And, I'm kind of like on edge all the time, all the time. I'm only comfortable really in my own home. And anybody that knows me will know this is true. Now, it turns out I'm not the only one that suffers from this. It's actually quite common. And it turns out that there is a name for it. And it's not social anxiety at all, and it is something that I never suspected it was. And I actually had to do quite a bit of looking into it because I didn't believe that this is what it was called, because from my understanding, this thing, what it's actually called, was something completely different. But I was wrong, and it turns out I have agoraphobia. Now, I always pictured agoraphobia as the opposite of claustrophobia, which is where you're afraid of wide open spaces, and that's not true. So I have this page open here that explains it, in pretty layman's terms. So I'm going to read some of this to you, but of course you can do your own research. It's quite interesting, and it's a pretty good feeling to finally have a name to what's been wrong with me all this time. But it says here, agoraphobia is not the opposite of claustrophobia. It is not simply a fear of open spaces. Agoraphobia may result in a fear of being outdoors, a kind of open space, but it is not a fear of there being too much openness and no walls, ceilings, or boundaries, etc. The fear of going outdoors results from a dread of becoming embarrassed, trapped and helpless somewhere while having a panic attack. This never happens inside one's own home. It says more than 95% of people presenting for treatment of agoraphobia also have panic disorder. It says that you believe, most people with agoraphobia avoid situations that they believe will trigger panic, which is called avoidance, which is kind of like a no-brainer. But it says psychological symptoms of agoraphobia. The symptoms are sometimes related to the physical symptoms. Fear that people will notice a panic attack, causing humiliation and embarrassment. Fear that during a panic attack their heart might stop or they won't be able to breathe and they may die. Fear that the sufferer himself or herself is going crazy. The following psychological symptoms are also possible: low confidence and self-esteem, feeling of loss of control, depression, general feeling of dread and anxiety, thinking that without the help of others, the sufferer himself or herself would never be able to function or survive, dread of being left alone. Behavioral symptoms: avoidance, avoiding environments and situations that may trigger anxiety. In some cases, this may be mild, where the sufferer avoids going in a crowded train. In extreme cases, the person finds it very hard to leave the house. Reassurance: the sufferer needs to be reassured by another person. Going out to the shops might only be possible if a friend comes along too. In extreme cases, the sufferer finds being alone unbearable. Safety behavior, needing to have or take something in order to confront situations or places that trigger anxiety. Some sufferers have to have an alcoholic drink before going into a crowded place, while others cannot go outside unless they are sure they have their tablets with them, or they escape by leaving and going straight away and going home. Now, I also read somewhere on another article, because I did quite a bit of reading on this last night, that what was it? Fuck, I don't remember now. Something that was quite important. Wouldn't be like that to freaking forget. I should have said it before I started reading, because I just remembered before I was reading. Fucking hell. I don't remember. If I remember, I'll have to write it in the comments. Sorry. It's just quite overwhelming, to finally hear that, what's going on and what's been going on and everything. But I don't know how many of you out there that watch me might suffer from this as well. Usually it onsets around your 20s onward, 20s to 30s, and it, of course, affects more women than it does men, and it's just quite a bad thing. You can take medication for it, which is a good thing, although with everything else I have wrong with me, I don't really think medication will help me enough. I do have definite self-esteem issues, and just the thought of going out and being seen and people looking at me, and it's like I feel like everybody's staring at me and mocking me, and oh, that's what it was. I didn't remember. They say that you also dwell on death a lot. Like, you always think, oh my god, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, and I feel like that all the time. I always, always feel like I'm gonna die, my heart palpitations have been getting worse, and I lay here and I'm just like, tonight's the night I'm probably going to die. And I start flipping out. And I've even gone so far in my past as to write goodbye letters and stash them in my books and my stuff, so that, once I'm dead and, my family or whoever's looking through my stuff, they'll find this letter of, goodbye and thank you for everything, blah, blah, blah. Or, I have heart pills sitting right there on the shelf, in case I start having a heart attack, so that Logan can grab them and hopefully save my life. And, I'm always like well aware of how far I'm living from the hospital, and making sure that, I have the emergency on my speed dial. I mean, on my phone, I even have it here. If you go to people, right there, I don't know if you can see, I have emergency, which is basically 911, health line, and then I have my doctor here somewhere. There's my doctor, there's my doctor. So, I have, there's like what, oops, 4 contacts right there for doctor's emergency. It takes up about half my contact list. So I'm quite paranoid about that, and I always have been, and I always think I'm going to just die suddenly, and, I don't know. But, yeah, so that's what's wrong with me, and it actually is a real thing. So to everybody out there that thought I was bullshitting, fuck you, because it is a real thing, and I have agoraphobia. So it feels weird saying that, but again, quite interesting. I don't know if I think I'm happy to be able to put a name to it. So hopefully, if any of you have ever felt the same way and not known what it is, hopefully this video has helped you. And you're like, oh, that sounds like me as well. Is that what it's called? And, kind of like I was. So, or if you know someone that's like that, you can tell them what they have. And, yeah, so hopefully that's helped somebody out there. Because it's kind of, I feel like it's helped me a little bit just knowing what it's called. And so, yeah.